so here's another breakdown of what you're going to need per day and what you're going to need overall for the whole thing. Each meal broken down: beans, rice, flour, sugar, cooking oil, hunted meat, foraged food, whatever you might need. This is based on 2,500 calories, ensures carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Here's an example of a weekly meal: flour, pancakes, or flatbread, 1 cup. Flour, sugar, water, oil, coffee, tea. That's breakfast. And lunch, snack, dinner. That's each day. That's You don't want to starve out there, right? You're going to eat. You want to eat. You want to be comfortable out there. You don't want to have to worry about food. So here's the weekly intake. This is all really interesting. If I'm going too fast for the scrolling here, just pause the video. I don't think it's too big of a deal. You could also go over to ChatGTP and do this yourself and try to get, something more geared towards what you want. This right here, I'm just showing you the basics of what you might need in order to survive. And even with this, you're probably going to need some kind of vitamin supplement just because you're not getting all the vitamins you need with this stuff. Packing recommendations, extras, storage and planning. Would you like help calculating precise hunting? Yes. Let's see what she says. Goal: 6 ounces of meat per day, 2.6 pounds a week, 136 pounds for a year. So if you kill 1 or 2 deer, you'd probably be pretty good for the whole time out there. You never know. Here she goes right here. Rabbit, squirrel, deer, fish. Fishing is probably the easiest thing if you're near water. That's probably going to be the easiest thing. Rabbit and squirrel, if they're around, you could probably catch those. Deer, if you got a gun or a bow and arrow, I guess you can get that too. You're going to want a gun or something out there anyway. Your stuff that might grow out there depending on what time of the year it is, of course. I know from experience, things like dandelion greens, morel mushrooms, wild onions, berries, you can get those pretty easy. Walnuts, yeah, if you're in the right spot. Uh, the wild carrots, I'm not sure about. Those have a tendency to look a lot like some other stuff that's not very good for you, so we'll skip that. Preservation techniques: smoking, drying vegetables and fruits. Have a root cellar of some sort. Weekly menu with recipes. She's really getting you broken down here really good. And this is what you're going to need. You're talking about 365 days out in the wilderness. You're going to be busy. Look at all this. Man, that's crazy, right? I mean, ChatGTP is really good for a lot of stuff. Wintertime, low forage, rely on preserved jerky, rice, beans, and flour-based meals. Make pine needle tea for vitamin C. That's interesting. Mushrooms, you can dry the mushrooms and the greens. Acorns, I don't recommend acorns. They don't taste good. Additional hunting and forage tools: hunting rifle, traps, fishing rod, tackle, foraging, guidebook for edible plants. That's a good idea. Preservation: salt, airtight storage, and drying rack. Yes, let's get more stuff. Let's get some more details because there's a lot of stuff to go on. I mean, you got a lot of stuff to do if you're going to go out there for a year. Game types and hunting techniques: birds, slingshot, air rifle, 22 rifle for stealth. Hunting tips: I'm not a very good hunter. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not a good fisherman either. So it would be hard for me to do all these things, but I think I could do them if I had to. I don't know. I know some of you guys are probably laughing at that, but I'm working so much. I never have time to do it. Preserving meat, I've always wanted to do this. I've never been able to. Timing is always an issue with me because I work so much. Foraging strategies, some good ideas here. Dandelions, like I said, dandelions are everywhere, man. Blackberries, well, if you ever been a kid out in the country, you know about that. Let's see, pine needle tea, it's a really good idea. Advanced preservation techniques. Oh, okay. Well, we read all this stuff. You can pause the video when you want. This is really interesting stuff. I like all this stuff. It's really puts things in perspective for how much you really need to go out there. And she's just showing us a few recipes there. Food planning for emergencies, canned goods, hardtack, MREs, just in case you get yourself in a little pickle out there. You want to have some backup. Supplies for success, hunting gear, firearms, ammo, bow, traps, fishing line, and nets. Foraging good guidebook. On the foraging book, I would say make it a book that has really clear pictures and really good details about the plant, because you don't want to mistake a wild carrot for hemlock or something like that. They look very similar, so just be careful with that stuff. Cooking tools, cast iron skillet, of course, pot, knives, utensils, plates, bowls, cups. Storage supply, airtight containers, vacuum sealer, and mylar bags. And with the storage supplies, you could also make the stuff when you're out there with the many trees that you will have. Would you like to further break down tools? Yes. See what else she's got. Essential tools for survival: rifle, shotgun, bows and arrows, snares and traps, fishing gear, cooking tools, preservation tools, dehydrator. You can make that while you're out there. Handles and stuff like that, you can make those when you're out there too. You don't need that stuff. Shelter and maintenance, seasonal survival schedules. Interesting. I like the way she breaks it all down for you and gives you every little detail she can. More recipes. Emergency calorie calculations. If hunting and foraging fails, ration your staples: rice and beans, flour-based meals, sugar, cooking oil. Wow. Would you like assistance in planning shelter construction, crafting tools, or setting up long-term survival? Well, yes. Let's see what she's got there. Man, I tell you, she's really good at this kind of stuff. There's the temporary shelter. Everybody knows about the lean-to, right? Tarp shelter, semi-permanent debris hut, underground shelter, which you might want to get used to digging when you're out there, because you're going to have to make a root cellar. Long-term base setup. Make sure you're near a river or a stream or lake for the water. And of course, when you're near the water, the game is going to be there, and the foraging. Elevation. Avoid floodplains, of course, the low-lying areas. Wind protection, that's a big deal, especially if you're in Wyoming or something. That wind gets crazy out there. Base layout. There you go. Like I said, you can make your own handles when you're out there. This is all stuff you're going to need if you plan on going out there for 1 year. Fast growing crops, radishes, those are horrible. Spinach, I love that stuff. Carrots, potatoes, all good stuff. And you can do the herbs out there with, I'm sure, and maybe some peppers. Peppers grow real easy. Fire building maintenance, water collection and purification, emergency preparedness, all good stuff. All good stuff. With the first aid kit, I would say carry a suture kit too, because you might get cut real bad. You might need to sew yourself up. You never know. Stay dry, save energy, maintain mental health. Journal, carve wood, set daily tasks, be motivated. Don't go out there just to be lazy. Shelter blueprints. Look at all this stuff she gives you. And of course, you can do the same thing I'm doing. You can go over to ChatGPT, and do the same thing I'm doing. Get all this information and even more. You want to say, okay, well, what about number 2? Let's see what she says. She goes right into it. I mean, just like that, you know. Isn't that wild? I love this tool. It's so cool to have Chat GPT as a tool to use for things that you can just look up real quick and get very detailed information on. You could do the same thing on the internet, but it takes a lot more time. And then you got to make sure you go into the. Oh, she's showing you a diagram of a trap there, I think. Twitch up snare. I don't really understand that one, but okay. It's interesting. Could kind of understand it. A stick at an angle. A loop, I guess. I don't know. Can't really understand that. Anyway, game traps. There's more of those little dialogues that doesn't really make any sense the way they look right there. But she can download these diagrams to make it a picture as well. Let's see. Yeah, she shows you the pictures right there. I don't know where she gets this information from. Oh, there's a video even. Well, look at that. This is very interesting. I prefer this response because I don't want to watch a video. So that's, oh, well, there's the video anyway. All right, well, it's very interesting. The amount of detail you can get out of this thing is just